Hi, Mark. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So last week we announced the 10G distributed taps. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Sure. So the two products you're referring to are the 2x8 and the 1x2 10 gig distributed filter taps. Now, both these products are in the 10G family, and they're very, very flexible in their deployment. They can be deployed both inline and span, and they offer load balancing. But this is a new level of load balancing in which we have not just MAC address anymore, but offer load balance by VLAN and IP address.
Oh, really? So if we had, say, a server farm and we were trying to group servers or even distribute those bits of traffic over to various monitoring tools, we could do that with those.
That's absolutely correct.
Some of our users are very concerned about security. Now, with IP networks being really the transport for everything, people have their credit card numbers, social security numbers, all these things going across the wire. How do we help them out in preventing that confidential information from being seen by multiple entities?
Sure. Well, security, especially nowadays, is of the highest priority. We deal with banks, telcos, governments, globally, not just domestic, worldwide. And we have a very easy to configure graphical user interface, which allows access to, on our boxes, SNMP v3, Radius, and TAC Access Plus. This also allows for port ownership. Now, what I mean by port ownership is our box can now allow a top-level manager to assign individual access to the box.
Really, so that goes well beyond what I could normally do with a switch, where let's say you had two mirror ports on a switch. Really, you couldn't limit what those users are seeing. They could always see all those ports. You either have read-only access or write access. Here, we can actually limit down to what the users even can tell is even on the chassis itself.
Absolutely, this box or these features now go way beyond what a switch would normally be able to do.
That's pretty interesting. Now, what about dropping packets? So this is obviously an aggregation and filtering tap. We can aggregate these very high-speed links, these 10G links. What about dropping packets on the wire? What can we do for those kinds of things?
Well, these boxes offer deep packet filtering, which will only allow the packets of interest that the analyzer wants to see be sent to the analyzer. So now the user can set a filter, and the monitoring device they're using only sees the filters of interest, or the packets of interest, excuse me.
So with some of our other devices, we have the ability to do filter offsets and see actually tunnels in the network. What kind of filtering functions do we have within this chassis?
So this chassis filters on layers 2, 3, and 4, and it's 4,096 filter equations per chassis. And this can also apply custom filters, which allow you to offset the specialized protocols and also view into tunnels. For example, we have a big telco that we've been working with that needs to view into the GTP tunnels, and we allow them to do that with this device.
Okay, that's great. We were talking about that a bit earlier, about the ability to actually see within the radio access network. And GTP tunnels are obviously a key part of that. So look, Mark, I appreciate your time, and we'll be talking to you soon.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you, Philip.
Feel free to go to our website to find out more about our products, or you can give us a call at 1-650-697-8770 and speak to one of our experienced support engineers who are happy to assist you. Today's podcast can be found at vssmonitoring.com's podcast library. We invite you to check us out on our website or at iTunes. Once again, thanks for listening.